That's my card. I know I introduced myself to you at your house, but my name is Lisa Reed.
I know it's an interrogation camera, but can we turn up the fucking quality?
Okay, and I am
Oh my
a
God.
detective here at the Charlottesville Police Department.
Okay.
So before I want to talk to you, I want to make sure you do understand your rights, okay? And that way I can explain to you what's going on and all that good stuff. Do you
Okay.
understand? You understand that? Okay. Today's date is May the 3rd, 2010. The current time is, all right, your first
2010,
name
they
is
didn't have
George.
HD.
Yes.
G-E-O.
Oh my God, his first name's George. Oh no. Oh no. This is where we messed up. No way we're 40. No, wait. We went from is your name George at 51 seconds. Now we're an hour into the interrogation. We haven't heard one fucking word. Are you fucking kidding me? That's basic common knowledge. How many people killed Georgie?
I didn't. There's no way I didn't do it. No way.
No way you didn't do it, or no way you didn't get caught.
Why did you guys come in and say you were searching for an assault?
I never said anything about an assault.
Someone came in this
I
morning.
never mentioned to you anything. Just told you we're investigating something. Wanted to know if you
Investigating.
know. Do you want me to call anybody for you, George?
It's an interesting concept to think of how you might respond to what would normally be an easy question, especially during a circumstance where it becomes a terrifying dilemma. We ask that you contemplate this question while you put yourself in George's position, but
Mom,
not before you
Dad,
grasp the context of
somebody.
what brought him to this moment. It begins with 22-year-old sports scholar Yardley Love, a star lacrosse player at the University of Virginia. She is captured in this photograph playing in the
I'm not gonna lie, she looks out of his league. I got a feeling that he killed her already.
second to last game of the season, clearly aware of the obstacles that lie in front of her, yet continuing to move forward, which is the circumstantial detail that turned this picture into a symbol for the globally recognized organization that would be founded in her memory. This would be the last photograph
She got a
taken that
global
day,
org?
capturing Yardley's last embrace with her head coach Julie Myers. Both were unaware this exact moment would soon be on the national front pages. On May 3rd, 2010, at roughly 2:15 a.m., Yardley's roommate returned from a night out to their off-campus apartment. Upon entering, she saw that Yardley's bedroom had been broken into, at which point she rushed inside to find her unresponsive on the mattress. She had blood coming out of her nose and severe bruising across the right side of her face. But the most alarming thing was that she wasn't waking up. Her friend called 911, who instantly guided her through the steps of...
Oh no, what's your emergency? My friend is not breathing. Please help. I think we need an ambulance. Okay, what's the address? Redacted information. Of course, we're not just gonna go to the address. Okay, help's on the way. Are the doors unlocked? Alright, yes, please hurry. Yes, please hurry. Okay, stay on the line. I'll tell you exactly what to do. Okay, so basically just told her kind of what the fuck to do.
CPR, which was then taken over by paramedics who arrived on the scene 4 minutes later. But their attempts at revival...
4-minute response time? I'm sorry. That's insane. 4 minutes? Are you waiting around the corner? 4-minute response time? Are you fucking... Is that not mind-blowing in this case? 4-minute response time. 4-minute response time. Oh my God.
were unsuccessful, and Yardley was...
I've known people that were literally dying. Dying. Dead. Like, dying. Like, in a car crash, right? The police don't even get there for 20 minutes.
pronounced dead at exactly 2:47 a.m.
I don't get
At
it.
2:53 that same morning, criminal investigator Lisa Reeves woke up to a phone call from the sheriff's office. By 2:59, she had arrived at Yardley's apartment leading the investigation, and by 3:50, confirmed that she had her first person of interest, which was 22-year-old George Hughley V, Yardley's ex-boyfriend, and the next several hours were spent gathering information before she knocked at his front door. She found out that George was a fifth-generation heir to a very wealthy American family, whose roots lay in lumber dating back to the 1900s. He was educated at Landon Prep, a prestigious all-boys private school in Bethesda, Maryland, with annual tuition fees of up to $50,000. George was the star player of the lacrosse team and became an All-American athlete. This led to a full scholarship at the University of Virginia, where he remained a key player in the starting lineup, and where he would also meet, then spark a romance with fellow lacrosse player Yardley Love. They dated for almost 2 years.
Hughley and Love's relationship was an on-again, off-again one, where they cheated on each other throughout, and that tempers flared both ways.
What was going on with these two young people? What may have led someone to do what happened? These are just a completely unbelievable set of facts.
Everybody watched the relationship. People were really troubled by it. They were scared for her. Nobody knew what to do.
Yardley ended the relationship in 2010, just 2 weeks before graduation. 9 days later, she was found dead in her bedroom. And that same morning, George Hughley would hear a knock at his front door. He opened to Detective Lisa Reeves, who was dressed in civilian clothing. She introduced herself as a police officer, but mentioned nothing of the crime. She simply stated that she was conducting an investigation that could benefit from his presence at the sheriff's office. George's response was to lethargically put on his flip-flops, then walk over to the passenger side door of her unmarked police car and let himself in. Somewhat bewildered, Lisa got in and drove them to the police station a few minutes away without talking. It was around then when she noticed bruising on his knuckles and cuts on his forearm, at which point George was
bruising on his knuckles, cuts on his forearm, signs of struggle, and beating somebody's head in. He's guilty.
No longer a person of
forensic that shit up. Forensic it up. Get CSI Miami involved. Check out the cuts. It's over. You don't need to interrogate the guy at this point. You know
interest.
He did it.
He was the prime suspect.
He's guilty. Should have worn some MMA gloves.
All right. You just say you did want water, didn't you? I know I introduced myself to you at your house, but my name is Lisa Reeves. Today's date is May the 3rd, 2010. The current time is, I can't tell on that one, 7:52.
I draw all the papers too.
What's that?
My drawing papers still right now.
All right, your first name is George?
Yes.
Right away, you'll come to notice that George is oblivious to the gravity of his situation, and it would be very safe to assume that he at this moment is unaware that Yardley has died. He seems to believe that he's in as much trouble as he would be sitting in a principal's office, perhaps for getting in a fight at class or on the lacrosse field, and the sooner he provides a sanitized version of the truth, the sooner he'll get to go home. This, of course, ties in perfectly with the interrogator's opening strategy, which we've labeled warmth for the sake of this video. She will downplay the severity of his situation to a considerable degree, while maintaining a friendly temperament with a sympathetic undertone. She needs the suspect to feel safe and secure for the time being, as the less cautious he is, the more information he's likely to give away. Then as soon as he locks himself into one particular storyline...
Warmth, pressure, fear. Shut the fuck up, bro. She's not a prostitute. A fucking detective. It's a strategy, psychology, not physical. God, bro. Every chat's all horny all the time.
The pressure can commence, which often leads to a suspect being laden with panic and contradictions.
Before we ask you any questions, you must understand your rights. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you in court. You have the right to talk to a lawyer before questioning and have one present during questioning.
I think you should.
If you cannot afford a lawyer, one will be provided for you. And if you're willing to talk to us now, you have the right to stop talking anytime.
George has two options here. Option one is to remain silent, then allow his father to get him the most expensive attorneys in the country. He would then have years to examine the evidence, evaluate the many options available, and then construct the most self-preserving storyline with world-renowned experts in criminal defense before they present it to a jury. Unfortunately for George, he takes option two. But before he does, rewatch the flawlessly reassuring manner in which he's given the final piece of the Miranda warning.
And if you're willing to talk to us now, you have the right to stop talking anytime. Got it?
Yep.
Awesome. Just need your signature there that you understand your rights and are willing to talk to us.
You dumb fucking college frat boy.
Calm now.
Lawyer up. That's what I've learned. Every time I've watched fucking anything when it's crime related, or even fucking 48 Hours, right, where they do the lost child thing or whatever the fuck, missing persons. And they bring suspect in. Lawyer the fuck up. Lawyer up. Just lawyer up. get a hella good lawyer up. Get a shit lawyer and lawyer up. You're still, like, if you lawyer up in this country, you have a far greater chance of just coming out on top compared to, like, not lawyering up at all. And you do some dumb shit like this, you get pressed by people
Let's kind
who
of
have
start. I'm going
degrees
to
in
kind
this
of ask you
bullshit.
some questions, and like I said, we'll explain things a little bit later. Tell me about your day yesterday.
Played golf with our parents. It was a father-son. Good event. I went to dinner with my dad and my two buddies, and then went home, went to the bar for like a little while. Then I went over to talk to Yardley, and
Who's Yardley?
Yardley is my former girlfriend,
Okay.
which this whole thing's about, which I understand. But
Nobody's. Hold on, you said which is holding. No. Homie admitted guilt right there? Yeah.
George has now initiated the investigative subject matter himself. It's the perfect opening scenario for the interrogator because she's given nothing away,
You
making it
stupid
more likely
fuck!
for him to reveal details that will contradict the evidence.
when I went over to
Just let that.
talk to Yardley, I like was like Yardley, and she was like already like totally freaked out because of what she did this past like a few days ago, and we haven't talked since, and I was just gonna go talk to her.
Yardley slept with another lacrosse player from North Carolina the week before, which is what he just referred
God
to.
damn!
She was already like, like freaking out, like, you know, you can't come in, you can't come in, and I was like, I'm like just trying to talk to you.
The investigation team obviously had no way of knowing this, and George has now confessed to the crime of second-degree trespass. More importantly, however, he's just confessed to initiating the supposed confrontation. He now can't say that he was somehow tricked or misled into that situation. He knowingly stepped into it, and the critical fact he can actually recognize and remember this will be used against him repeatedly in the future.
And like, she like started being like getting like all like, you know, like really like defensive. She was already like on the defensive edge, and like.
Bro, I'm gonna just point out, we're 4 minutes into this interview, interrogation, whatever the fuck you want to call it. He initiated the crime, said that he was trespassing, and she hasn't asked a fucking question. She read him his rights. He started spilling everything out. Lawyer the fuck.
I was like, listen, I'm not here to like, I'm just here to talk to you. And she like got all like sat up, like her bed's against the wall, like if it was in this corner, she was like up against the wall, and I was like we were sitting there talking, and like she started being like you know, like getting like all like aggressive
She has no idea what he's
after this, and so I was like, all right, like chill out, like, and shook her a little bit.
So just to recount what George said over the last 47 seconds, Yardley was defensive. While being in a defensive state, she backed up against the wall. She then became aggressive. George's response to this supposed aggression was to initiate physical contact.
And she started being like freaking out, and I was like, listen, I'm not like here to do anything. I'm here to talk to you about everything that's ensued in the past week. And she was like, and like started like being like, no, like hitting her head, like stop, like she was in the corner, I was sitting on the bed, I was like, stop, like, I was like, Yardley, like, what the hell, like, we were just gonna talk.
So let's go back half a minute and dissect what actually just happened there.
And so I was like, all right, like, chill out, like.
Now, what's fucked is this guy is so stupid. He's got evidence on his arms. He's said that he trespassed, committed assault, and knows that she was hurt, so probably he's gonna say that she, you know, was super fucked up when he left, and he didn't lay a hand on her. But now you've seen a girl that's like super fucked up, and you didn't check to see if anything's wrong, didn't call the police.
Like, and shook her a little bit.
He will now say the
Shook her a
words,
little bit.
"and she started being like," then simultaneously mimic a body colliding with the wall. He will then stop himself mid-thought and subtly modify the detail.
And she started being like freaking out, and I was like, listen. And she started being like freaking out.
He goes from illustrating Yardley hitting the wall to, as he states, freaking out.
And
He seems to realize mid-sentence this isn't the best way to explain her injuries, so he changes the detail to buy himself time.
and she started being like freaking out, and I was like, listen, I'm not like here to do anything. I'm here to talk to you.
He carefully shifts the topic from Yardley to himself and keeps it there for 8 seconds before attempting to re-explain what occurred in a more self-preserving manner.
And she was like, and like sort of like being like, no, like hitting her head like.
No jury on the planet will believe that Yardley was voluntarily slamming her head against the wall with enough force to cause fatal brain damage. All George has done here is give away the fact that he knows Yardley has sustained some type of head injury, and now lied on record about how it was inflicted.
I was like, Yardley, like, what the hell? Like, we were just gonna talk, and like,
The fuck is
it
this
was
guy
not
doing?
at all like a good conversation.
Honestly,
because
she hasn't asked a fucking question.
Okay. So when you tossed her back on the bed, in your mind, she was bleeding, but you said she was bleeding out her nose, and you didn't feel like you needed to call rescue?
No.
After
Yo, Kai, bro, appreciate you coming through, bro. How's it going, G?
There's nothing
It's going
about,
pretty
like,
good, bro.
Going
We're vibing,
get
diving.
anything, or going, you know.
We're watching this interrogation video right now, bro. So far, basically, I'm gonna catch you up to speed right now. This is basically how it went down. Lacrosse player ex-girlfriend dies, brain injuries, trauma to the head, super fucked up. Detective comes to his house, and she was like, "Hey, can I ask you a couple questions?" His response was to get in the fucking cop car and go to the police station. And then he's got cuts on his hands, on his arms. Admitted to trespassing within the first 4 seconds. Admitted to physically assaulting her. And then has lied about everything ever since. And she didn't even ask a question. And we're 48 minutes into the interrogation. She hasn't asked a question. She's just been spilling it ever. So
I don't know. I took a
funny.
computer.
George rambles about why there
basically,
was
that's
no
where we are
reason
right
for
now.
taking the laptop for another 20 seconds, during which time Detective Reeves decides that enough information has been
Sounds like
attained.
a psycho
Phase
meme.
2 is now complete,
Yeah.
and the fate of Yardley is about to be revealed. These moments in interrogations are
And he had
considered
the
important
so
for
he's
the...
like, and also this guy right here. So this is the guy that obviously did it, right? There's no bullshit around. Bro, his family's so rich, is what the criminal psychology guy was saying. Like his family is like from like olden colonization times, and like they're mad rich. And even the guy was like, bro, you could have just lawyered up with the best lawyer in the goddamn country. I was like, okay.
Purpose of
I
gauging
don't
a
get it.
suspect's response.
So he probably
It's
doesn't have
believed
to
that
worry
a
about
sharp and
shit.
sudden revelation can make it
I mean,
difficult to
honestly,
fabricate
but
emotion. So in
here he
theory,
tried to
this
wing
will
it
cause a
himself.
suspect to provide either a genuine response or a relatively obvious disingenuous response, which often comes in the pretense of shock or remorse.
I mean, I guess that's where my logic was at, but that was, which is.
Well, I have to tell you
I
something.
think I know why you took the computer.
In the midst of what would have been a flawlessly executed moment, Detective Ed
Literally.
jumps back into the laptop mystery. The suspect has essentially confessed to murder. This really wasn't the time for regurgitated conjecture over a petty theft misdemeanor, which Ed was clearly being advised of once again through nonverbal communication.
Why do you think?
You
Go ahead,
all right?
go ahead.
You know?
Yeah.
She's dead. You killed her, George. You killed her.
She's dead?
I think you knew that already.
No, I did not.
In our opinion, George is being truthful here, and we believe the interrogator feels the same way in this moment.
She's dead? How the fuck is she dead?
Because you killed her, George.
How the fuck is she dead?
Because you killed her.
George appears to be going through a delayed response. It's so foreign a revelation that it's yet to sink in. Once the shock settles, he refuses to accept it, and this denial appears to be a momentary coping mechanism before the reality of the situation truly hits him, which will happen at this time in the footage.
Oh my God. She's dead?
Yes.
She's dead.
Yes.
She's dead.
She's dead.
How? How?
I already told you how. You already told us how as well.
How is she dead?
You just told us.
Oh my God.
He says I didn't mean that means
You went in there to talk with her, but it got out of control, right, George?
Oh.
The detectives will now add further pressure to keep him talking. Suspects will often divulge information in these moments in the panicked attempt to save themselves, and in doing so can shut down a more credible storyline they have.
Dude, like, he murdered her. Like, he beat the absolute shit out of her. 5 hours ago. He's 1 hour in and he's already confessed to the entire thing. We can't lie for a little bit longer? Just a little bit?
Haven't thought up
Are you
yet.
kidding me?
The alcohol got a hold of you. You kicked in her door. She started to fight with you. You punched her in the head, or you cracked.
She's not dead.
You cracked
She's
her
not
head.
dead.
You
She's
cracked her
not
head in
dead.
the window or in the
She's
wall.
not dead.
She is.
She's not dead.
I ain't BSing you right now. It's serious.
I want to see her. She's
George,
not
look
dead.
at me.
George.
She is dead.
You were not here to dance with us. You're here because she's dead. The alcohol.
I don't believe it. I don't believe
It's
it.
true.
Dude, I didn't. I don't believe that she's dead.
How did you?
I don't believe that she's dead.
How
I
was she-
don't believe that she's dead.
Did you punch her? Did you hit her?
How?
with-
She's.
head
There's
wall?
no way she's dead. She's not dead. I didn't. I
Listen,
never
listen.
did anything. I did not.
All right, let's calm down.
I did not hurt her. Like she's not dead.
Then calm down.
Just out of protocol, what we gotta do is stand up for me, George. Go ahead and put your hands behind your back for me. Turn around.
Relax. It's all right.
Relax. You'll be alright.
Tell me she's not dead. Tell me
Gonna
she's
be
not
up here,
dead.
gonna grab
Please.
something to drink.
Please tell me
yeah,
she's not
let's go.
dead.
Relax.
Please, will you tell me
You
she's
know what?
not
I wish
dead?
I could tell you that, George.
Never mind, I guess I
22-year-old.
don't know.
22, and her life is done.
She's not. I did not do anything like that.
That's crazy.
God. There's no way. There's no way. There's no way. I do not believe it. I do not believe it.
I mean, they don't have to put him in
No way.
handcuffs,
There's
right?
no way she could be dead.
Either the head trauma or asphyxiation.
There was no asphyxiation.
Okay.
So it was a head trauma. No, you should break up.
God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God.
What was she doing? What was she doing the last time you saw her?
She was like standing up with me. She was standing up with me. She was standing up with me, looking at me.
Was she standing or you
She
were
was
holding her?
standing up, looking at me.
Okay.
She's not dead. I know she's not dead. I know 100 million% she's not dead. I did.
Bro, that's gonna be a crazy feeling. Like,
She cannot be dead.
you can't feel
No,
bad for this guy
no,
because, like, bro, like, at the end of the day,
It didn't.
he beat up a girl to the point of
It did not. It didn't.
That's gotta be a crazy
No,
recollection.
get away from me. You have to leave. You have to leave. You have to leave. I was like a little bit persistent. I
Was she
mean,
screaming?
she should have been. I didn't
What?
kill her and leave. I didn't just. Oh my God. I didn't kill her. I did not kill her. I did not kill her. I did not. I did not. There's no way I didn't do it. No way.
He's breaking down.
No way. Oh.
Dude, it's gonna be such
I
a
want
mix
a
of
lawyer.
emotions.
I don't believe
You
it.
can't. Homie says, I want a lawyer now. Bro, you gave the entire story away in an hour. He just said he wanted a lawyer. That's crazy.
I don't believe this. What? There's no way. There's no way. There's no.
There's no way you just said that you wanted a lawyer.
So
What the fuck's a lawyer gonna do? There's no lawyer.
Should I
that's
talk
gonna
to
take
someone?
Who do you want to talk to?
Anyone. A lawyer.
One will get appointed to you.
Okay, what do I do now? Go to jail?
Yeah.
All right, George. Right now, I know you no longer want to talk to us. That's fine. I'm just letting you know something. We're working on a search warrant right now. And what it is we're gonna have to collect some stuff from you, like what's called a buccal swab, okay?
Fuck's a buccal swab.
Why did you guys come in and say you were searching for an assault?
I never said anything about an assault.
Someone came in this
I
morning.
never mentioned to you anything, just told you we're investigating something, wanted to know.
I'm investigating so.
Do you want me to call anybody for you, George?
At the start of this video, you were asked to think of what you would do in this situation. Really try and imagine what would be going through your mind in this moment, as you might just gain a restorative outlook from both knowing the answer while not having to answer this particular question. But there is of course no possible way you will gain anything close to the newfound perspective George has acquired in this moment, which unfortunately for him is no longer of use.
Want me to call your dad?
We call it Mom.
Your mom? Is that who you'd like me to call?
Can I talk to her?
Mm-hmm.
Can I talk to her?
I don't know about that.
I mean, he gets.
What's your mom's name? What's her number?
301-96.
Okay.
Damn, give out her
Did you
full
wanna call
number
your
next
dad?
time. Jesus.
Just her.
She will tell him.
Mm-hmm.
She can tell him everything.
Okay.
How?
You know what's fucking crazy? I bet you this guy got away with it. Some fucking how.
I don't believe it. There's no way she's gonna be dead. There's no way.
Calm down.
There's no way. There's no way. There's no.
This would be a crazy feeling. This is about to be the end of the interrogation. So
Go ahead, put your foot down.
Oh my God.
Yep.
These next few moments are a turning point. The leg irons seem to initiate a shift in his constitution, and his denial will completely cease from this point forward. He will continue to ask why and how, but he will no longer reject the severity of what is happening.
okay.
Oh my God.
He should be doing life in prison, but I bet you he's doing like 10 years. He's gonna get out.
Huh.
Heck of a day, bud.
I ain't here the rest of my life.
I'm sorry?
So I ain't here the rest of my life.
In this room?
No, in jail.
I don't know.
Probably not, homie. Not gonna
Oh,
lie.
Dad, God, man.
Never said you were, bud.
Call my mom.
I'm sorry?
Call my mom.
No, he knows. Yeah, you do want to talk to her. Now's when you need your family the most, bud. You know?
That's crazy, bro. I just want to hear what happened at the end. I just want to hear how long you went her for. Like, no, he's gonna be out.
Trial, Hughley has sat expressionless.
2012.
Well, testimony.
Oh, here we go. I mean, this document, or this footage, fucked everything that he probably was gonna say in the trial. He just admitted it.
George was taken to the regional jail soon after this moment. He would go on to plead not guilty to murder and was held without bond for almost 2 years awaiting trial. It began on February 6, 2012.
Well, testimony is now underway in the murder trial of the former UVA lacrosse player accused of killing his ex-girlfriend.
For the first time, we have video of Hughley as he was led into the courtroom.
Contrary to his appearance in the days that followed his arrest for the murder of 22-year-old Yardley Love, he appeared pale, frail, and gaunt.
The prosecution presented a case that Hughley went to Love's apartment that night, busted through her bedroom door, and in some way struck her, causing blunt force trauma, which led to her death.
We've also learned that on that night, George Hughley was exchanging what were described as playful text messages with 3 other women. Those messages continued late into the night and even after the alleged attack.
Throughout this trial, Hughley has sat expressionless, almost.
All right, so basically, basically, what you missed was absolutely nothing. Kept basically saying that he didn't mean to kill her, and he went to, I think he went to court or something. He had like 2 years that he was in jail before his trial.
Most stoic at the defense table. All of that changed today as this police interview was airing. Hughley began crying, was often pinching the bridge of his nose with his hands and looking down as he listened to the sound of his own hysterical voice. I did not kill her. I did not kill her. I did not. I did not.
In court Tuesday, Hughley's defense faced an uphill climb.
The most riveting testimony came from former UNC lacrosse player Michael Burns, who testified that one time while visiting UVA, he heard some yelling for help from Hughley's apartment.
How do you not mean to beat the living shit out of someone?
When he opened the door, he said he found
And you know what's crazy? Is motherfucker really said, I did not kill her. And he was texting 3 other bitches same night. Why did you give a fuck about her?
Wrapped around Love's neck, choking her. Hughley then let her go, and she ran out of the room, crying.
A variety of medical experts took the stand this Wednesday, and they all seemed to agree that Love's death was the result of blunt force trauma to the head. This was followed by highly distressing witness testimony from Yardley's neighbors.
The noise was so loud, this was such a violent death that they heard it downstairs, 2 separate witnesses, and it sounded like a stereo crashing to the ground.
And it certainly didn't help that the jury knew that she was alive for 2 hours before she died, indicating that if George Hughley had come to his senses, he could have gone back there, called 911, and possibly saved her life.
Still, the driving argument for the defense is that George Hughley never intended to kill. They say this was all a tragic accident, that he does not deserve a life sentence, but instead a lesser...
I mean, go on. That's some bullshit, right? That's some bullshit. He did not mean to kill. I mean, the motherfucker just beat the living fuck out of her.
The argument for the defense is that George Hughley never intended to kill. They say this was all a tragic accident, that he does not deserve a life sentence, but instead a lesser charge and a second chance.
Guilty of second-degree murder.
There you go.
Hear the sentence momentarily.
A 26-year prison term came down.
George Hughley was brought to court to hear his lawyers plead for the judge to cut in half the 26-year sentence recommended by the jury. Judge Edward Hogshire did trim it back, but by just 3 years.
The jury in this case recommended 26 years. The judge changed it to 23, probably a small difference, but why would he do that?
It's surprising, isn't it, considering this is a woman who was beaten to death in her own bed.
We think that George was convicted of a crime inconsistent with the facts, and he received a penalty inconsistent with what the evidence would require.
There are no winners in this case.
With credit for the time that George Hughley has already served in jail, and if he gets time off for good behavior, he could be out in 18 years. And the family for Yardley Love has put out this statement saying, "We find no joy in other sorrow. We are relieved to put this chapter behind us."
As for George, he was incarcerated at the maximum security Augusta Correctional Center for 10 years and has since been transferred to a prison work camp in Richmond, where he's expected to serve out the rest of his sentence.